Okay, we're back for episode 7, I believe, of our game. And this is actually attempt 2 of this recording after the first one messed up. But what we're going to be making today is some power-ups. And I thought we'd do them using a sort of mystery box. So we're going to come out of here and, like we did in the last video, we're going to open up a new base plate rather than doing it inside our current environment. So we'll do it over a new base plate, much easier to test. And we're going to have 3 different power-ups. We're going to have a speed boost, a jump boost, and a health boost. But instead of just touching some boosters, I thought we'd make a mystery box like I say. So we're going to go and create one of these, and we'll put this around the side here. I think you can recognize what it is now. And we'll rename it Mystery Box. And we'll set it to anchored, and we'll disable can collide so that the player can walk through it. And we'll place it up there, and we'll add in our script. This will be our usual collision script using the .touched event that we've used previously for the coin. So we'll local function collision. And that will be expecting the part, whatever part touches it. And then we'll have the function inside here. And then we call the function script.parent.touched event. And whenever it's touched, we want to connect it to the name of our function, which in this case is collision. Okay, and then we're going to need to check it, so player. So we say if part, whatever part's touching it, we want to find its parent, which in this case will be the player character, and we'll check if it contains a humanoid, which we know the player character does. And we'll just, in this case, we'll just print out hit. So we're just absolute basics, we'll just check that works. There we are, we're loading to the game. Go to our mystery box, jump, and there we can see in the output we've got hit. It's actually done it 15 times because the collisions and the physics engine, as we move through the object, we're colliding multiple times. So we get multiple collisions. So back to our script, and I think what you might actually do is you might destroy it straight away, which seems a bit strange, but we can script.parent.destroy, and then we'll only get the one collision, and we can still do the script, blur it. Whatever we write in the script will still run. So the next thing we need to do is, I thought it'd be fun if we did a little graphical user interface pop-up, a little GUI. I've not talked about these much yet on the channel, so maybe this would be a whole other episode. But maybe that'll be something for another day if you guys are interested. So I'll create a screen GUI, and we'll add in a image label, and we're going to place it sort of down here somewhere. And we'll make sure it's perfectly centered by changing the anchor point and making the position perfectly 0.5, and then we'll make it 0.8. So that's perfect. We've got screen GUI on our image, and inside this image, what we're going to do is we're going to display the image of whatever item we pick up. So let's start by adding a image to it. We can right click if we're in the toolbox, copy the asset URI, click there, and scroll down to our image, to properties, find the image property of image, paste that in, and then our little question mark will appear. Pretty cool. Can we make this transparent? Perfect. Make background transparency equals 1 as well, so it looks a bit nicer. And if we want to change the value of this image from inside our script, we'll need to access the player. So we'll say, first of all, we'll create a variable for the character. We'll say local character equals, and it's script.parent because we checked that it's but it contains the humanoid. So we know that the parent of the part is the character. And then in order to get the player, we can use a function from the players. So game.players, and we use a function get player from character, and we have the character. So we use that variable we just created. And then with the player, we want to access that player GUI, because the starter GUI folder, that is just what we want to copy into the player when we load up. So if we go and play the game now, you'll see whatever's in starter GUI is duplicated into the player. So if we go players, find my GnomeCode, which is me, and then we have these folders backpack, player GUI, and player scripts. And inside our player GUI, we have some default ones, and also this one here, which is what we copied in. So if we want to edit it in during the game while it's running, we want to edit this area here rather than this one down here. You can see if I change this, we change the transparency and so on. So we need to go player.player.GUI, and then let's rename that from screen GUI so it's easy to understand. We'll rename that mystery box, or mystery icon will do, and we'll rename this one to just be icon. So in our script, we'll say player.player.GUI, and then the name is mystery icon dot icon. And for starters, I think we'll just try and have it appear whenever you touch. So we'll make this disabled by default, and then in our script we'll say, oh, in this case it's not icon, so it's mystery icon dot enabled equals true. So as we can see, it's hidden right now. Hopefully when we go and we touch the box, we should have an icon appear. There we go, perfect. So the box disappears and we get this little icon. Now what I would quite like to happen is I'd like to cycle through all the different power-ups that are available. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a table of the different power-ups that are available. So we're going to have a run boost. Let's search for run in the images, see if there's anything that... Okay, so this one we could use right here. If you've got a bit more time, you could create your own images, but for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to use the ones from the asset store. So we're going to copy the asset URI again, go back into our script, and above the table here, above the function, sorry, we're going to create a table. So local power-ups equals, and then we use the curly brackets because it's a table, and inside of the table we can type in quotes our first ID, which is that one. We can add a comment if we like. We can say that's the run icon, and after each item in a table you want to have a little comma. So comma, next item, and this one is going to be a jump boost. So let's search for jump, see if there's any images we can use. Let's see. This one. There we go. We'll copy this one in, paste that, comma for the new value, and we're going to add another comment as well. Jump. And then the third one, that is going to be our health boost. So let's search for health. We've got this little green health icon, that'll be perfect. We'll copy that in, paste that. And we don't need a comma this time as it's the last value. We could add one on to make it easier, but that'll do for now. And then what we want to do is we want to loop through each item in this table. So I'm going to add a for loop. I'm going to say for key image in pairs, and then we're going to say power-ups. So what this is going to do is for every item inside of this table, it's gonna loop through it, and each time we loop through, the image is going to be equal to each one of these. So we can test that now, but if we just print it out, print out image, and we run that. And we go over and we hit it. We can see we've got each ID like so. So instead of printing it out, we can change the GUI. Let's create a variable to make this GUI easy to access. We'll say local, we'll just call it GUI for now, that's fine. If we had multiple GUIs, it could be a bit confusing, but since we only have the one, that's fine. So that will equal to that, and then we can just say GUI dot enabled, much easier. And then down here, we want to say GUI dot, and now we want to access the image label. So it's GUI dot icon dot, and it's the image property we want to change. We want that to be equal to the image from our for loop, which will be one of these three. And every time we go through, we're going to wait 0.2 seconds. Let's try that. And shall we go ahead and test that? Check that's working. So we'll go ahead and touch, and we'll get all three images, but they loop through rather fast. We'll add on 0.5, I think. And we also want to make sure we see the that question mark that we've already put in there. So we're going to add a little wait inside of there before we run through the loop. We're going to say wait 0.5. So we're going to enable it. They'll be able to see the question marks in there. Wait 0.5 of a second, and then we're going to run through all the items, and we might actually run through them multiple times. So we could put them a loop inside of a loop. This one we can say for I equals 1. Let's go 5 times. It was 1, 5, do, and then we will do this loop. So we're going to loop through every item 5 times. In fact, instead of having the icon image inside here, what we could do is we could add it to our table here. So we have it like this at the beginning of our table, add the comma, add the comment. So we could say it's the question mark. And we also haven't had a comment down here either, so comment that. Health boost. So now we will run, and we'll get the question mark each time we run through it. So it'll be even more things going on. We can get rid of this wait as well. Let's try that. We go ahead and test. Go up to the box, activate it, and then we'll run through all the different items available 5 times. That's a little slow, isn't it? Maybe we'll change that value. But what we know it works, which is the most important thing of all. We need to actually give them an item from this list, because we're just looping through it. So what we need to do is get a random value. Now, Roblox has a random function from the math class. So if we type math.random, and then we can supply it with 2 numbers. If we say 1 and then 10, we get a random number between 1 and 10. So in this case, we want to get a random number from inside of this table. Now we don't actually want the first item, because that's just the question mark. So we can start at 2, and we want it to be the last item, which is 4 in this case. So we could type 4, but it would be even better to type hashtag powerups, so we get however many is the total length of the table. So if there's 4 items, or if there was an extra one, 5, it will be whatever is the total amount. And whatever number we get back, we want to save that as a variable. So we'll say local num equals math.random and so on. And we could then print that out, but I think we're confident this works, so we can carry on to our next bit, which is going to be to use the number. Now, at this point, this function is getting all a little bit bloated. Technically, this is just the collision function, but we've got all kind of things going on in here. Ideally, you want to break down your functions into different purposes. So what we could have is we could have another function now, and we could say local function give boost, and then we're going to call the give boost function down here at the bottom, and then we can do all our number generation inside of this function. And we're going to need to supply the function with the player. So we'll expect a player parameter, and we'll send it the player variable that we've already worked out here. And going back to our function now, all we need to do is add in a if statement. So we say if num equals 2, then we know it's the run icon. So we could print out run boost, and then we could add else if num equals 3, then we know it's the jump boost. So print jump boost, and else if the num equals 4, then we can finally print out health boost. So that's all our different boosts covered. Shall we go and check this one's working then? Go over, oh hang on, we've still got this enabled by default. Let's disable that. Disable our toolbox, go back into play. Go over to our box. It's going to spin through all the different items, and then it's going to output, hopefully, health boost down here. Fantastic. Now in this case it actually landed on health boost as well, but that's just a coincidence. So if I go back and play, because it's just landing on the last item in the list. So hopefully we get a different item now so I can show you. So this time we've got a jump boost, but we're still landing on the health boost as it's the last item in the list. So it'd be nice if we could set it to whatever item we actually get. So how about for our num here, we could change the player.gui.image. Now inside of this function we haven't actually got that GUI variable anymore. Oh well, this isn't the best practice, but I'm feeling a bit lazy, so we'll just add the variable in again. Ideally you don't want to do this as it ends up with redundant code, but what the hell, we'll do that. We'll do it for now. So then we want to say GUI.icon. I'm just copying and pasting. GUI.icon, and instead of when we're using it just image for this loop here, we're going to make this equal to the value of num. So make that equal to num. And we don't have to have this inside actually each if statement. We can just have it at the end of the loop here. Like so. In fact, it would probably make more sense if we take out this number generator and put it back into the collision function, and we can send the num to the give boost, and we can remove that, and we can put the GUI to be equal to that before we call any of that. So that takes out a few unnecessary lines. Again, this isn't the most beautiful thing, but it gets the job done hopefully. And so we'll add in the num parameter up top to the give boost function. So it takes a num and it takes a player, because we are still going to need the player, because we now need to assign those these these boosts. So we'll start off with the run boost. Now we can actually change all of these from the humanoid. So if I go back and test, you can see my character here has inside of him a humanoid, and inside of these is a bunch of properties that we can just change quite easily. So we see we've got jump power down here, we've got walk speed, and we've also got health and max health. So the walk speed defaults to 16, but we could change this to 50, press enter, and I'm going to run a lot faster now. So let's head back to our script, and we can say for the run boost player, using that player variable that we're taking as the parameter, player dot character dot humanoid dot walk speed equals 50. And then I don't want this to be a permanent change, so we're just going to make it last for 3 seconds. Wait for 3 seconds, and then we'll copy that line, paste that below, and we're going to set it back to 16. And we're basically going to do the same thing for the jump boost. But instead of being walk speed, we'll make it jump power. I think the default jump power is 50. So let's change it to 100 and then back to 50. Make sure we're changing jump power for both of them. And then finally for the health boost, we're going to do it a little bit differently. There's 2 different health properties for humanoid. They have a health and a max health. Now if we just change the health to 200, that won't actually do anything because the max health property is set to 100. So we need to change that, the max health, to also be equal to 200. And then they'll both charge themselves up. We're going to make this one a permanent change, I think, rather than the health increasing and then decreasing again. That would be a bit mean. So let's go and see if this is working, shall we? We'll go ahead and play. We can open up workspace, have a look at the humanoid while we do this. We'll check the default values. So the default is jump power 50, health 100, and walk speed 16. We'll move over to our mystery box, hit it. Which icon are we going to get? We've got, image 3 failed to load, unexpected URL. Where have we gone wrong here? Let's go back to our script. So image 3 failed to load. Where have we gone wrong? So it's our line here. So we've just tried to assign it a number rather than the URL. What we meant to do is we meant to say go to the power-ups table and then make it equal to that image. So we want power-up, and then we use a square bracket, and we want that to be equal to num. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? Take 2. Is it going to work this time? Ooh, and we got the speed boost. Fantastic, and it slows back down again. We also need to make this disappear once we've done with it. Let's go back quickly, and we can make we can add a little, we'll wait for 1 second, and then we'll say GUI.enabled equals false. So we'll test it for the last time. Well, maybe we'll get a different power up this time. Go and run over to it, jump, see what we get. It's going to run through the list, and we've got a jump boost, and we're jumping a bit higher now. In fact, I'm going to change that. I want bigger jump. We're going to make a 200 power jump, I think. I mean, you could change these values, make them 2000 if you want or something, but I'm going to make it 200. So now we know this works. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it into our actual game world over here. Paste that in. I'm going to put one over here on the second level. And I'm also going to put one, let's see, we'll put one back on the first map, the first level, I think. Just over here to give the player a taste. Now, these could be both a help and a hindrance to the player. Because if they suddenly get a speed boost or a jump boost and they go into a trap, this could actually be, icon is not a valid member of Screen GUI, of course. We just got this error down here, and that's because we didn't copy over our mystery icon GUI. So we'll copy that, paste that in to start the GUI. And you see I've already got these two from when I was testing before. So you should have your Screen GUI, which is your points and levels thing, and your mystery icon one, which you've just created. Let's try testing that now. We'll run over, hit our box, and we're going to go through the items. Which do we get? And we get a jump boost. Whoa, right into the air. And that is a bit dangerous. I only just missed that trap. And we go on to the second level. And we'll go and we'll get our second boost over here. And what we're going to get? We're going to get the health boost. And it doesn't seem to have changed our health there. Why is that then? Our max health is 200, but our health is only 126. Where did we go wrong here then? Let's look at our mystery box scripts. Have I messed up? We need to set our max health before we set the health. We want to set max health to 200 and then the health to 200. The reason for that is we were setting health to 200, but it wasn't actually possible to go to that number. So you need to set max health first. We want both scripts to be like this. So we'll paste the changes into this script as well. So we're setting max health first. Let's test this one more time, shall we? It's all about testing, guys. Good. Test, test, test. What do we get this time? We're going to get the jump boost again. Whoa! Oh, that was dangerous. And the next one. What we're going to get this time? Dun, dun, dun. The jump boost again. Okay. Right then, that brings us to the end of this video, I think. Thank you for watching. As always, if you want any help, you can comment below, or you can hit me up on the Discord. It's much easier to discuss things there. But if you've made it this far through, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.